Okay, this is video number 3, and there's a lot of reading on this one, so hopefully I can read and follow along with the camera. The equation you wrote in part C of problem 65 is called a quadratic equation. To solve it, you need to examine what you know about zeros. Study the special property of zero below. If you have Nathan, Sonia, and Gaston are playing a game where Nathan and Sonia each think of a number and then give Gaston a clue about their number. Using the clues, Gaston must tell them everything that he knows about their number. So Nathan and Sonia's first clue for Gaston is that when you multiply their numbers together, the result is 0. What conclusion can he make? Well, one of them would have to have 0, because if you're going to multiply numbers together, the only way to get a 0 is if one of them is a 0. Disappointed that Gaston came so close to figuring out their numbers, Nathan and Nancy invited Nadia over to make things harder. So Nathan, Nancy, and Nadia, I don't know what happened to Sonia. Oh well. All think of secret numbers. This time Gaston is told that when their 3 secret numbers are multiplied together, the answer is 0. So what can he conclude? That one of them is 0. Does it matter how many numbers are multiplied? If the product is 0, what do you know about one of the numbers? This property is called the zero product property. With the class, you're going to write a description of this property in your learning log and title it zero product property. And today, or for this, instead of including today's date, since we don't have a learning log, I'm going to make that a discussion board. And then for number 67, it says, let's investigate how you can use this property to help you solve the quadratic 2x squared plus 5x minus 12 from part D of problem 65. Now remember, I've already done this whole problem, and we even talked about the zero product property, and so now all I'm doing is breaking it into steps for you. So, if you examine the equation, so you have this equal to 0, you don't know how to solve it yet, so you're going to factor it. So that was the first thing we did over here. And then once you factor, again, so once we factored this, I was able to put my 2x squared, my negative 12 here, which multiplies to be negative 24x squared. We then we're able to pull it out, blah, blah, blah. See video 2 for the explanation on that. But you'll get 2x minus 3 times x plus 4 equals 0. Now remember, just like that game that they played, one of them would have to equal 0 in order for the product to be 0. So decide what that would have to be. If this person's number was 0, I'm going to call them people, even though they're, numbers. So if this person's product or number was 0, they would have to, x would have to be 3 over 2. If this person's number was 0, then x would have to be negative 4. So those are going to be your 2 x-intercepts. What do these solutions represent, and what do they tell you? They are the x-intercepts. That's going to be what x equals when y is 0. Remember when we started this whole thing, it was when we were doing our intercepts where y was 0. So then now you know your 2 x-intercepts. And then it says, can you make a sketch of the parabola with the 2 intercepts and a vertex? So this is what we're going with now. So first you can find the x-intercepts now of this equation. When you do that, if you need me to explain the factoring process still, I can. But you get to x minus 4 times x plus 2 equals 0. So then when you break them apart, x minus 4 equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0. You solve them and you see that x is 4 and y is negative 2. So then now you know 4 and negative 2. So then to find the vertex, first, you're going to use that line of symmetry trick I told you, negative b over 2a. So you know it's going to be at 1. 1 is halfway between negative 2 and 4. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you go over 3 each way. Or you can look at it through this formula, negative b. So negative 2 is positive 2. 2 times 1 is 2. So the x-intercept, the line of symmetry is 1. So whatever that is, that's your x for your vertex. So then you're able to plug that in. If your x is 1 for the vertex, you get 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 8. 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 8. So 1 minus 2 is a negative 1 minus 8. Oh, wow. I am wrong. That's embarrassing. So this is, why I go through this. So 1 minus 2 is negative 1 minus 8 is negative 9. So then your vertex number would be 1, negative 9, and that's what that would need to be, okay? And so when you're graphing parabolas, okay, if you haven't printed this and written all these notes out, write this on a page that you are going to use while you're doing the rest of the math, probably for the rest of the year. To graph parabolas, find your y-intercept, your x-intercepts, your line of symmetry, your vertex, and then plot the points. And let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.